Y'all ready? Let's just do this. Hey everyone, welcome to my random ass live stream after 5 billion years. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope everything is working. You know, it's funny when you haven't live streamed in like 6 months. You kind of forget how to do everything, and some things apparently weren't hooked up. And I may have paid, like, $20 for Streamlabs for absolutely no reason, because I thought I had to. Because something wasn't working, but I think I had to, like, redo my stream key or whatever. Sigh. Anyway, hey everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope everyone's having a wonderful night tonight. You know, welcome if you're, you know, home and not at G-Fest this fine weekend. You're very welcome to the stream. If you are, for some reason, watching from G-Fest, you can leave right now. Oh, boy. But anyway, how is everyone tonight? I actually... I don't remember... I don't know if I want to use Streamlabs anymore. Like, it's a very nice setup, but, like, I just don't know any way to use this. Like, I need, you know, I just need to watch tutorials. I used to. Like, I remember how to use this a little bit better, but, like, I'm not even sure. Like, there should be a, yeah, dashboard, like, someplace I can actually see whether or not you've, stop. I don't want that. Like, I was pretty sure I could, like, see comments or things like that through this and not have to, like, look at anything. Maybe no one's commented. No, because I know someone's commented. Whatever, I guess I'll just have to have 2 different feeds open. JF, I must have dreamed 1,000 dreams. Hey, I don't know if that's just, like, a joke because it's been forever or some kind of reference. How are you doing? You're doing good. That's good. Good to hear. Hopefully we'll get a few more people, but if not, that is always something to have to remind myself while streaming. It is hard sometimes to project yourself when you know, like, there's not really, you're not really sure how many people are watching. James Shelton, hey Bryce, good to see you back. Hey, thank you. It's good to be back, at least for a little bit. And I definitely want to go over to a couple things about that, because I'm probably gonna try to cut this stream up into like 1 or 2 videos, depending on what topics I go over, so that I can put a couple videos out, and that people aren't just like, oh, it's some random live stream, because most people probably don't want to watch a live stream. Because I do want to do like a slight update sort of video for anyone who cares. It's a reference to a song. Oh, Land of Confusion. Okay. God, it's been forever since I heard that song. Genesis. Love Genesis. So, yeah. G-Fest is happening. I'm not there, obviously. Did not really have the time or money for that this year. I'm debating. I kind of want to try to go next year. But, you know, G-Fest has been kind of, you know, a little back and forth with how it's been run and everything. Buster Core, hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. Glad you could make it, at least. But yeah, G-Fest, yeah. Like, money, time, some, you could say, politics related to the convention. I'm really happy, though. I will say, I'm happy that everyone there is having a good time. It's aggravating because I've met so many wonderful people there, and I really love the spirit of the convention. It's one of been my favorite conventions I've been to for the past, I don't know how many years. And it sucks because I've been going 3 years in a row. Met a lot of wonderful people, a lot of great artists and everything, great experiences. Just terrible management, gotta say. Specifically, at least one person, because I know there's probably, I don't know how many people might be kind of shitty running the con, but unfortunately the head honcho is just... Zachzilla, hello, hi! How's it going? Hope you're having a good time. Thank you for stopping by. So, yeah. Really don't know what to talk about first. I guess I'll keep talking about G-Fest, but yeah, I'm like the silly thing was, I was just like, you know, hey, we got G-Fest at home, guys, and then you just come here and it's like, you know, I don't got shit. I don't really, you know, it's a double-edged thing. It's a very back and forth thing with me with G-Fest. When everything went down with JD, the guy who runs it, for anyone here who doesn't know what G-Fest is, basically, Godzilla Festival is what it stands for. It's in Chicago. It's been going on for 20-some years. This is like G-Fest 27, I believe. So it's been going on for a long time. It's a fun con for the most part. It's got its problems, like every con has, and because it's smaller, some things they don't exactly like address. Like, there's always been a problem with like the AC and everything, as far as I know. I've always heard, like the couple times I was there were problems, and that's been like a joke there. And you get some other, you know, things there that con problems. But yeah, like I'd been going for 2017, 18, and 19, 3 years in a row, and like it was just after the first one, like I really wanted to go back again, and then I just made it a yearly thing, and I was gonna do 2020, you know, until 2020 happened. But then at the same time, the man who runs it, and I'm not gonna. I was wondering. I was kind of back and forth in my head, like if I'm gonna just fluff around things. I don't think I'm gonna fluff around. His name is JD Lees, and he's just he sucks. He really, really sucks. He had a lot of some very, very terrible opinions to me on the whole COVID thing when that happened, and doubled down on that stuff, and blocked people on Twitter, and blah 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 blah, whatever. That's all old news or whatever. But the thing is, after all that stuff happened and the con didn't happen in 2020 and 2021, he blocked a lot of people on the official Twitter account because he decided to use Gfest's Twitter account as, you know, like a personal Twitter account. Because, you know, that's what you do when you're a smart adult, you know. You use a convention's Twitter account, public Twitter account, that's supposed to be for, you know, hopefully everyone to come to, and you use that to spout off all of your own, like, really jaded opinions about everything. And then he blocked a bunch of people, and it was just a terrible, terrible ordeal. And then some stuff happened with Artists Alley, the, you know, the artist group and everything. As I was in that, I went 1 year to sell some stuff. I didn't really sell a lot. It was back when I was trying to get back into art, and I did not get a lot of stuff put out. But one of my friends, John Bourne, who came with me there, he was selling some stuff. He's definitely, and he's an artist. He tries to do his best with that stuff, and he really had some nice stuff. And we met a lot of great artists there. And then G-Fest, which apparently has always had this back and forth stuff with the amount of con art you can make, you know, fan art, which I know has always been in a morally gray area for a bunch of conventions, but G-Fest is really weird about it. They go really back and forth with like copyright stuff, and I get it. I do understand. Like, I understand you don't want to get sued and everything, but I know that, like, most conventions, it's an unspoken rule between the con and the artists. You basically both know, hey, you guys are allowed to sell here. We're going to put in the contract that you're not supposed to, but we're going to let you do that here. But if, say, someone from, like, Disney came by and saw a bunch of, like, Marvel fan art out there, or some other type of, like, anime thing or whatever, and saw a bunch of that stuff, then we're gonna, you know, basically turn a blind eye to it. The G-Fest, they've always had a thing about it. They've always talked about, like, Toho executives coming in there. But from everything I've heard from other artists who have been there for a while, it kind of sounds like BS. You know, it's hard to tell, like, how much of it is actually them, you know. It's a mess. That's the whole thing. And then last year they put a stamp on it for this year and said, hey, if you're going to come to the G-Fest and you're going to do fan art, you actually have to show some type of proof that you have permission to do the artwork. And they said of any fan art, it's like, because before it was like Toho. It was like, you know, Godzilla, anything Godzilla related. But they never really say anything about, you know, Gamera, Ultraman, Kamen Rider. If you want to do that type of stuff, it sounded like, okay, so we're just basically focused on Toho. No, they just did a blanket thing, and they were like, hey, no fan art. None whatsoever unless you have the proper, you know, documentation. So, after that, and after the way that they did all the stuff with COVID, a ton of people that I know, basically the Artist Alley was just, like, done. And they were kind of done before with the whole COVID thing anyway, because I don't really want to completely get into that whole rabbit hole, but JD had come into they had a private Facebook group, you know, where they could communicate with everything, and they had some back and forth stuff with JD talking about certain things, and people were complaining about how things were handled. And then basically they said to take the G-Fest title out of the Artist Alley group, because apparently they didn't really like the way that they were bad-mouthing JD. So they burned that bridge kind of early with the artist, and then the whole thing with COVID, and then the fact with the artwork, the fan art stuff. So the Artist Alley basically, like, is non-existent at this G-Fest, and I've seen a lot of people I've seen several people talk about that on Twitter. There are some artists there selling artwork. I haven't really taken a look at too many pictures, but apparently there are people selling artwork of kaiju stuff. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they don't have a permission, you know, some type of, like, legal permission from Toho or whoever. So they're going there still. They're still selling artwork. And then on top of that, there's still people with, like, the bootleg Toku stuff, which I'm not against. Like, I was kind of born and raised, like, in my early years as a yar, you know, like, I was taught the ways to, you know, browse the seven seas. Um, and I had backed away from that some time ago, but like especially with overseas content, especially with like the Japanese toku stuff, there's like no legal way to get this stuff, and I completely understand like people who like put this stuff on like cheap DVDs and they sell it for like a small price, basically, you know, to make up probably for the materials and then just get a little bit of money from it, you know, like I remember I bought I never actually watched the DVDs, but there was the guy who was there. I bought like the whole first season of like the original Kamen Rider there, and it was like $10 or something. Like, you know, like it's probably, you know, not great, you know, looking stuff, but it's like if you wanted to watch it, you know, and I get that because like the Toku stuff, it's just hard to come by. But people are there right now with bootleg stuff too. So it's like, hey, you can't sell artwork without permission. It's like, I'm pretty sure the people selling those bootlegs, no permission either, you know. So JD just, the whole thing is just a bunch of bullshit. And then on top of that, JD apparently is not at the convention because there was something released in the I don't know if it was the latest G-Fan magazine or if it was in like the G-Fest booklet thing that they had there. But JD's in Canada, and because he decided not to get the vaccine, because that's been his stance on the whole thing, there's a thing about coming over to America and not having a vaccine. You can't do that, so he's just stuck in Canada. So, like, if you follow me on Twitter, I'm very blatantly political on there, and like, I don't really care about getting political on here, per se. I just kind of don't want to, for the sheer fact that, like, I say political. I just don't want to state a bunch of that stuff because, like, I don't want to bring this whole thing down. I get brought down on Twitter every time I log on to it and just see how all the terrible things that are happening. But let's just say, I'm both happy and unhappy that I'm not at G-Fest. Like, I really did want to go this year to see people. Like, that's the problem, is, like, I don't want to give money to JD. Like, full stop. I don't care about that man. He can, you know, kiss my ass, suck a dick. Well, that might be a bit derogatory, because suck a dick derogatorily, you know, like, in a bad way. Not the fun kind. But, like, I want to see the people, and I know there are plenty of people who go there. A bunch of people who, like, live around in Illinois who go to the con because it's, you know, close, it's local, you know. So that sucks, like, you know, not being able to see the people and everything. But there are a couple cons. There's, like, one that's happening in September. It's run by a group called Days of the Dead, and I can never remember. I keep wanting to say Destroy All Monsters, and I know it's not called Destroy All Monsters, but it's basically like a Godzilla Kaiju sort of esque convention, and it looks pretty good. Like, they've got guests that you would expect at G-Fest that are supposed to be coming there, and I know several artists who are going to it in September. I'm not gonna be going because just this year is just money is just not exactly good. But I hope to hear what's going on with it, and if it looks good, like, it's a couple hours closer to me. So, like, the last two G-Fests, I drove all the way there, and God, 13 to 14 hours in the car, really fun. But you know what? A little more fun when it's only like 11-hour drive. So hopefully that con actually works out. So, you know, we'll see. I haven't looked at anything for a long time. Sorry guys, I know. Like, trying to get back in the swing of things. Alright. It has a cover by Disturbed. Oh, yeah. I saw that with Land of Confusion. I don't remember if I listened to that version or not. I really like the original version, though. Ain't the con experience in a show? Yeah, it is the con. That's how it is. I just don't think, like, I've paid attention to too many other cons like G-Fest, where things get really messy like this one, like with like the owner and everything, because most conventions are so big, but this convention is so small is the problem. Like, it's owned basically by a single guy who originally wanted to do it because, you know, he wanted to bring Godzilla and all that stuff to like other people and have people to come there and have that experience, which is great. That's a great place to bring it from, but unfortunately it's become part of a certain man's, part of his ego. And, you know, I really hope that G-Fest, like, especially if JD decides he doesn't want to get a vaccine and, you know, come over here, that maybe someone else will fucking take it from him. You know, like, maybe someone else will be like, hey, JD, since you're not even in the country to run the thing, you know, how about you let someone else who's a bit more, you know, like, sane run it? Okay. I have some sad news to bring, though. My dog recently passed away. Oh, I'm sorry, JF. That sucks. I'm really sorry. I really haven't had that experience. I have 2 cats now. I've had one for a while, and we got another cat a few months ago, and even though one of them is extremely annoying, our newest cat, I couldn't imagine anything happening to either of them. I'm really sorry. Doesn't G-Fest also run the G-Fan magazine? Yes, yeah, they do. I mean, I probably already answered that a little bit, but yeah, they do. And, you know, JD's able to say, oh, that's right. The G-Fan magazine already has a plethora of problems in that too, with some stuff that JD has said. And I don't remember all of the details, but it's unfortunate, to say the least. Thanks for the stream. Hope you're well. Oh, TV Toku. Hey, how's it going? I see the Dynaut DX in the background. I just packed mine to move, but God, I love. Yeah. I've been. Yeah, I really like that. I've been back and forth. I've been meaning to change my display in the background. Things need to get dusted and need to be rearranged. And honestly, I'm like torn between how to display it. Like, right now I have it all in the 4 different parts. But, like, yeah, I really like it. I also actually have the Motoroid version as well, because I'm a whore for Gridman and Dynacenon. I have not put that together. I've had it for a while now, and I think I might just make one of them the standard mech version and make the other one the Dynarex version. But yeah, absolutely love it. And I love the DX version too. I unfortunately never got a pre-order for Grid Knight and Goldburn for the DX, and I'm not sure if like I really missed that opportunity. I'm hoping to at least get it for the Motoroid, so I have the Grid Knight Kaiser combo. Jugless Juggler, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. And John, hey, thank you. I love you too, man. And thanks for the $10. You really didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. MechaCon was probably the best con I went to, and they knew when to end it. So like that, you know, like did they actually like stop the con entirely, sort of thing? That's interesting. Like I don't really know too many. Like most of the cons I know of, like they've just been going for forever. But Super Godzilla X Vlogs. Hey friend, happy to see you again. Still love Godzilla. Hey, yeah, I still love Godzilla. You still love Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla's good. My second visit on their last day could have been better. Not only did I get a Japanese 3DS game without realizing those aren't region free, but also got a crappy Hitman Reborn DS game. Man, the last time I got an anime game, I think was like Bleach for the Wii, back like 13, 14 years ago. And yeah, I paid $60 for that game. Horribly regret that. If you go to another kaiju or mech convention, oh, absolutely. Well, I'd be absolutely calling you, man. Like, I'm not gonna not talk to you about that. Like, I definitely would like to see about the I don't remember it. It's like Monsters Attack. Maybe it's Monsters Attack. I think that might be it. I keep wanting to say Destroy All Monsters because it just like reminds me of it. But like the naming convention. Based on the hit anime Hitman Reborn. Yeah, I've seen Hitman Reborn. Like I've seen like pictures, screenshots, like manga panels of it. I think I read it like a couple chapters of it way back when. I don't remember like why I didn't get, I don't know if it just didn't catch my attention or something, but I really like your display too. I need the Grid Knight DX to combine already. Also, if it's okay, I'll tweet you a photo of my collection. Okay, sweet. Thank you. Yeah, like I just need to reorganize stuff because I was trying to get like a theme for everything, but then I got a bunch of extra figures. Like in the last like several months, I got some extra stuff. I got some Digimon, some model kits and stuff, and some figures, and I kind of wanted to just like have, them all like collected and stuff because I've got a ton of Gridman stuff and stuff. I got to like try to like assemble in some like nice way, and I've been really wanting to build a set piece for something, like I'd wanted to a long time ago do like a little building cityscape thing, but I've kind of wanted to do something like maybe more Gridman related, just have something in the back of like one of my Gridman figures and make it look kind of like really nice. But that goes onto my list of 50 million things I always want to do but I never get around to. The only good things I got over there were the Blu-ray for Sword Art Online, Ordinal Scale, and an Ultraman Tika statue. Oh, that's cool. I had seen up to, I think, like, season 2 or 3 of Sword Art Online, and I haven't really watched. I think, I know about Ordinal Scale. I think I saw someone do a review of it. And Ultraman Tika, that's cool. I really need to get more Ultraman into it. I just watched Ultraman the Next, like, this past week, actually, because I saw someone talking about it with the whole Shin Ultraman stuff coming up. And that was really cool. That was really good. I just hate the fact that the only, like, video of it I could find is just so low quality. Also, for anyone who might not know, the Figma Gridman Primal Fighter is back up for pre-order on Good Smile. I'm guessing other sites like BTS will have it too. Yeah, I did not know that. I'm trying to remember if we're talking about like the Primal Fighter, like his first color scheme when he first came in. Yeah, I don't think I like. Yeah, I'm definitely not as interested in that. Like if I like really got into the Gridman scene, like I would run myself into debt with everything I really want to buy. I really have to pick and choose. And yes, MechaCon is over. It's done, and I'm sad for. That sucks. Hitman Reborn reminded me of Soul Eater for some reason, but they're not the same author. Sad, but also glad the author of Soul Eater didn't make Hitman Reborn. Soul Eater is one I need to finish, because I read the manga way past where the anime had kind of stopped and made its own ending. And I remember really liking it back when I read it. But Ultraman good. Yes, Ultraman is good. From the things I've seen from it, it's good. I will be very honest, and I'm going to get flamed from Ultraman fans. I've just not been the biggest fan of some of the overall designs of Ultraman. But that might be because I haven't watched it. I know sometimes like things click with you better once you've actually engaged with it and watched the characters and everything. I just prefer like some of the designs like with more like some of the Kamen Rider designs, not all of the Kamen Rider designs, stuff like that, but like that was something that caught me, was the way they looked. And that's honestly, it's kind of like with Gridman. Like there's something about, I almost sometimes feel like some of Ultraman's designs to me are just too simplistic. Like, I mean, some people might like, obviously some people like that, but Gridman came off, like, especially his original form, like, it's simple, but it's got a little bit of stuff going on. It doesn't get too busy. He's got the armor. He's got some of the stuff that looks, like sort of Ultraman-esque, but he's got his own thing. He looks like he's wearing like half like a suit of armor pieces on him. And as I do like the anime design of Gridman, but that's when I honestly feel like they got a little over designed with it. But I need to stop, or this will just end up being a Gridman stream. I've been wanting to make a set piece shelf for my collection. iPop Designs on eBay has definitely been helping with that. Oh yeah. I remember I've wanted to get something from them because they make a lot of nice stuff. Yeah, I feel you. When I move, I'll hopefully get a bigger shelf diorama, but currently the shelves are just themed by season. Okay. Oh, you sent it to me. Oh, okay. And I will thank you for the follow. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, that looks really nice. Like, I've really wanted to have something that, like, actually could, like, be like a full enclosure, especially because of dust, because I hate dust, and I just always seem to collect dust, like, more than the regular human being does. Oh, this looks really nice. God, there's so many common writers. That's really cool. The subtitles for that movie are awful. Okay. I thought some of them felt a little off. Like I could get the gist of what they were saying, but I definitely felt like they were very stilted in places. Hey, Chris! You managed to join. Hey, happy you could make it. I'm glad to see you. Hope you're doing alright tonight. Don't remember if it's the first appearance colors, but it's their red and blue color scheme. I think I missed something that you said, or maybe you were referring to something I said and I just forgot. I think the Soul Eater anime gets a lot of undue hate. Yeah, the manga's better, but I think the anime is fine for what it is. Oh yeah, I think the anime was fine for what it is. I was just happy when I read the manga that things were paid off, because one thing I hated about with the anime was that, like, Maka and Soul never got to do... Soul never became a Soul... a Death Scythe. He never became a Death Scythe, and I thought that was, like, it was such a pain. But then when I saw the manga that they actually did that, at that pivotal battle, it made me really happy. And then, stuff continued from there, and then you met the other Death Scythes, and I thought, like, okay, this is, I really enjoyed that. But I think what they came up with for it was still good. And the animation on the anime was really good, too. First two episodes of Ultraman Decker were really enjoyable. I just find the Kamen Rider designs more intense and more effort than Sentai or Ultra. You see, that's... Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. But, like, not every... But then again, like, not every Kamen Rider design. Like, I've seen some Ultraman designs, like, just from looking at them, that I thought, oh, that looks pretty good. Not sure which Ultraman they were. But at the same time, I've also seen some Kamen Rider designs that I just thought, no. I still would like to give those series or seasons a try, eventually, but just from first observation, like, there's just some of them that I'm just like, man, maybe I'll like it if I watch it. But, man, yeah, I know I'm behind, because, like, I'm trying to remember what I said to some of these comments. I totally get you. It's simple, but layered. Yes, exactly. And that's just me. Like, I don't know why. There are certain design, personal choices, certain designs that just, like, really click with me, and some that just don't. The anime design for Gridman is good for an anime, but when you put in live action, yeah, I like the fact that they made those live action suits for Gridman, for, like, the anime Gridman, but I think it does come off when he does that a little bit, like, too busy. Like, and I feel like it's not too much. I have a couple of the books for like the productions and the concept art, and I think there was a few designs that they were like that they had right before they finalized it that didn't look too different. Like there was just a few changes, a few things that they had, and they were less. They had a lot less going on, and I honestly preferred that to like what they ended up choosing. So, you know, I guess they wanted that, but I mean, I think they were also I don't know. I feel like I read this somewhere, maybe, but that they chose that to kind of go with like the vibes of like newer stuff where stuff has a lot going on it. You know, like new mecha designs, new stuff like that. There's just 20 million bits of stuff on every robot or whatever. So many Kamen Riders, my wallet hurts. Yeah, I know. Kamen Rider has so much shit coming out for it. You got all the different like figure arts figures, and then all the belts. I know the belts will ruin you. I honestly, as of right now, only like I haven't seen too many seasons of Kamen Rider, but like I only have like one or two that I know that I would really like to get like the CSM, the belts for. But even then, it's like I can't. Like I think they had re-released, or they were coming out with like the new Kamen Rider Black belt, not for the new Kamen Rider Black show, but like the original Kamen Rider Black, they were doing like a re-release, and I really love Kamen Rider Black, but I don't have that kind of money right now. Maybe one day I'll go back and just have to buy all that shit, and I'll have to buy it for like 50% markup, and you know, or maybe I'll make my own. I need to learn Blender more. I finished Ultraman Trigger, and I thought it was okay. It was pretty disappointing since Tiga is my favorite Ultraman series, and Trigger being a successor to it should have been better. I think Trigger was the one that I heard from a lot of people making jokes at it, especially from like the bigger Ultraman fans that I follow. Sorry that it like didn't like live up to that. That's what happens when you got like sequel series. It's I didn't finish it, like, but when I finished Kamen Rider Black, I started watching RX, and that was the series I originally wanted to really watch from Kamen Rider, but then I found out it was a sequel series, so I was like, okay, I'll just watch Kamen Rider Black. But when I started RX, some of the tone and differences from how Black was to like how RX was, really, it was a lot of whiplash to me, and it kind of made me stop watching. I'd really like to go back into it, but like I think a lot of it is just too like when you're used to a show and the way things are set up in it, or the way things like are like tone and writing and everything, when there's such a change from that, it's hard to get into something. Like I think RX I would get into a little bit easier if I hadn't seen Black like right before I watched it. But because I think that really like fucked with me. Like the way that they were being really jokey and really childish with stuff. Like I get it, Kamen Rider series is for, you know, it's for children, you know, promoted going after children as the audience, but it just was like it was still like quite a shift. There's quite a few different things that just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. But I think if I had just watched it by itself, it wouldn't be as problematic. That's just like, it's always like when you go into something and you have those expectations from something else, and it just kind of screws with your whole entire viewing experience. And I hate it. Like I hate doing that. Like, but you know, it happens. People hate on the anime for the ending. Honestly, I feel it's thematically appropriate for the story. I think I did like it when I watched it, but it's been a while. I know it definitely does get a lot of hate. I don't think it deserves it. I think that, yeah, I think it did. It did a fair job at making its own ending that worked with the story. If you enjoyed Soul Eater, definitely read, watch Fire Force, same author, artist, and the ending is definitely worth it. You know, I would, but there's a lot of things I've seen from it that I really, really rubbed me the wrong way. I might try it a little bit and see. Like, maybe I'll at least read the manga or something. Some guy named Joe. Sup, nerds? Hey. Yeah, I'm nerds. How are you doing? Professor Kaiju, haven't seen your streams. Oh, Ghost Tub, haven't seen your stream since Dynazenon. So happy to make it tonight. Yeah, hey, happy you could stop in. Yeah, I know. I haven't really done much since those streams, to be honest. A lot of stuff going on with life that I would like to talk about, but I will try to talk about. I just don't know. There might be someone stopping by, but I don't know yet. Yeah. But I'll try to get into some of the stuff I wanted to talk about before some other possible people stop by. Shit, like, I think oh man, I've missed a lot of comments. Oh yeah, there is definitely some great Ultraman, some terrible common art designs. X8 is one of the best stories, but God, it has some... Yes, that's the one! That's the one where I look at the design and I'm like... I didn't want to say anything because I saw you had, like, the X8 logo stand and everything on your shelves, but, like, yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck is that thing? What's that little gremlin creature on my screen? And then it's like, no, here's its full mode. It's turns into a man with weird goofy eyes and but yeah, I've heard some people talk about the story, and I think I need to give them a shot. I just sometimes it's sometimes hard for me to, like, jump into new media, and that's problematic for Toku. There's just a shit ton of seasons I need to really jump into. One show I found myself getting to recently is For All Mankind on Apple TV. I have not heard of that. I don't have Apple TV, but maybe I'll look into that. For me, when it comes to Ultraman, half of the appeal is the kaiju. Yes, and the kaiju designs from the 90s, like Tiga and the early 2000s and Nexus are on point. Yes, Nexus, I've gotten through more than, like, half of that series, and I stopped for some reason. I don't know why, but I need to get back into it because I really liked Nexus. And yeah, because then I found out that I hadn't watched The Next, which was like a prequel movie, and then I was like, oh shit, I should watch that, and then I watched that. But yeah, I love the designs in Nexus. And yeah, like, that is the thing, like, I think most people are always about, are, like, those designs. I'm liking the sun design, not crazy about it. I really like it, and I'm just, it's one of those, I'm gonna have to just wait to see it in the show. I feel like the design, is a little bit, like, I don't remember what it's called. Like, I think it has a certain name to it, but there is, like, a sort of intermediate stage that Kotaro, when turning into Black Sun, and also Shadow Moon had, where they were, like, more, looked more like a monster, or a kaijin design. Like, they were, like, more, like, grasshoppery monster, and then they turn fully into, you know, the Black Sun and Shadow Moon forms. And I feel like these suits are based more off of those designs than they are, like, they're incorporating a lot of that stuff into these designs, which I like, because I always thought it was weird that they had that intermediate stage that they showed, like, once or twice in the whole show, and then they never bring it up again, because I thought it was, like, a really cool looking thing. So yeah, it's one of those, I'll just have to see how it goes, because, like, I'm excited about it, but I'm it's like back and forth. Like, sometimes I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's really cool, and sometimes I look at it, I'm like, I wish it looked a little bit more like the original black suit or whatever. But Toku in general is just deadly for anyone's financial status. God, Yes. Holy shit. Like, like, for a fandom that's very niche, and you would not expect, like, everything is just always expensive. Like, it's one of those times where, like, for some franchises, I wish they would have, like, nicer, like, statues or figures for that I wouldn't mind getting once in a while for some different things, like different movies or game franchises or wherever, that I'm like, I don't want to get this, like, really cheap, like, $5 whatever, or this, Funko Pop. Like, some Funko Pops are alright, but, like, whatever. But then, like, like, with a lot of Toku stuff, there is, like, no intermediate. It's like either you have, like, the really nice stuff, or you have the super cheap stuff. And a lot of some things, they just don't have those in betweens. And then sometimes it's really hard to look at, like, the cheaper one and then look at the more expensive one and not want that expensive one when it's so detailed, so, like, lifelike, like from the show or movie. God. I could, like, pull out a fucking second mortgage and all the stuff I actually really would like. But I also live in a 2-bedroom apartment. So combine that with finances. I'm kind of happy, though, because if I went, like, trigger happy with some of that stuff, I think I would regret it later. It's like I have to pick and choose what stuff really means a lot more to me. I really hope Kamen Rider Black Sun is good. It looks really interesting. Yes, same here. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it, and I hope they nail it. I hope it's not like just a average series. I hope it's, like, really good, that they lean into some stuff from the original Black season. The belts are a slippery slope. I originally got into just figure arts, but 10 SHF in one, about 10 SH figure arts in, I got into 1 or 2 belts, and then boom, I'm up to, like, 12. I can't. God, like, if I was rolling in if I had some disposable cash, but, like, luckily only CSM and Vintage DX gets marked up, so if you get into it later, it should be okay. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's good to know. Trigger wasn't really a sequel, it was mostly just a new generation version of Tiga. Okay. Trigger isn't bad in my opinion, but Zet was so good that Trigger had such a hard time to follow that. Okay. I remember just seeing a lot of discourse with the Kamen Rider stuff, because I know Z's that a lot of people were really into, and I felt like I did see some of that where people were like, "Ah, man, this is such a letdown." Like when people were talking about it week by week. All right. If you want to see Kamen Rider, oh shit, I keep skipping things. No sequel anniversary series will be as bad as Power Rangers Megaforce Super Megaforce. I have not seen that. So, maybe I'll never see that then. I think that's what Heisei and Reiwa has done right, Kamen Rider wise, keeping sequels specifically to V Cinema and specials, not full seasons. Yeah, I know that's something about Kamen Rider that I did enjoy when I first found out about it. Like, there's been a whole discourse with Ultraman not that long ago that people were talking bad, like, talking to people being like, some people said Ultraman was too hard to get into, and then I saw a lot of people, bunch of people I follow, bunch of people in some circles that were kind of bad-mouthing that and saying, like, it's not that hard, blah, blah, blah. So, I understand that. Like, I get that now, but when I first was getting into Ultraman, that's how I felt as well, like, with those other people. I know that there's so many different series that would bring up and talk about things, and some of these, like, series that had, like, power callbacks, like, where it's like, oh, this Ultraman can now bring on, legacy, like, bring in Ultra 7 and Ultra Tiga and combine the powers and do this, like, combo super whatever. So I wasn't sure. Like, when I saw that stuff, it made me feel very, like, I don't know where to start. And I did ask some people, and they gave me, suggestions to start it. But, like, I understand why people would feel that way. Especially, say, people who've been brought up on stuff like, a lot of Western media, like Marvel, where the stuff is so interconnected that you need to watch it. But a lot of this Ultraman stuff is a lot of, like, nods and stuff to the older series, and it's not as necessary to, like, get what you're, to understand what you're watching. But it's one of those, like, I felt like some people were being a little too mean about that. Like, I get it, but that's why, like, I really like Kamen Rider, because, like, aside from, like, 1 or 2 shows, every single one is its own thing, and only in the specials and movies do they actually do the whole, 10 different series of Kamen Rider all team up, and it's just a special. And I think that's fine. Like, I really do like that. I like that just for a special circumstance they decide to bring all the Kamen Riders together, because, like, it is limiting. Like, if you decided to, like, try to make these seasons and these shows, like, all connected, then you're going to limit yourself in writing and all these random callbacks you have to do for no reason that just, I'd like to just, I like the idea of Kamen Rider just being like, okay, this world is open. The only thing that's still here is that the main character is a Kamen Rider. And there's probably going to be more than one Kamen Rider. There's going to be other secondary, third, tertiary writers. And they have belts that turn them into that. And those belts will have some type of weird ass gimmick, like, snorting a light of cocaine on the belt, and then you turn into Kamen Rider, because I've seen some of that stuff, and it's one of those, like, okay, I know I'm going to have to watch it, and maybe that's when I'll get into it, but when I see people take, like, baby bottle pops and just shake that stuff and slap it into the belt, and then do a little, like, do like Jack in the Box, like, turn a little crank, I'm like, okay, sure. I know, it's the gimmick. You got to get the kids into it, because then they'll be like, I can do it too. And I think, like, some of that stuff looks kind of fun, but some of it's just like, Kamen Rider Black RX ending, not to spoil too much, is obviously cruel. Oh no, I think I'm gonna need to. I need to finish. Kabuto was one I was going through. I would like to probably shift back from that and go back to RX, and would like to go back into the Showa era, because the only things I've seen from the Showa era are like Black and then part of RX. Yeah, I really wanted to get into Fire Force, but how the author treated Tamaki really damn. If we're talking about the girl and the way she gets sexually harassed, then yeah, that's I wonder if that's the same thing, because yeah, I've seen that shit so many times that I'm like, guys, can we please stop with this joke, okay? Because it's not really a joke. It's sexual harassment. Please stop. And sadly, she doesn't get any better. In fact, she only gets worse. What's worse, the author of Fairy Tail is the reason why she was treated the way she was. Oh, really? I also haven't really gotten into Fairy Tail either. I read like 20 chapters of that way back when. Like, I got into like maybe the first big arc or something of that manga. But I would say, if you're gonna give any shot, Kamen Rider Build, I've heard praises sung about Build, and a lot of people say like that Build is one of the best ones. Yeah, I definitely will give that one a shot. I don't think I need to talk up any more than other people already do. Oh, and I think Build is the one with the baby bottle pop shakers too, isn't it? I think that is that one, but yeah, I definitely would like to give that a try. I literally can't get into Kamen Rider, not because I'm not interested, it's because I'm still catching up on Ultraman. Oh, jeez, yeah, I can imagine. Like, yeah, catching up on either Ultraman or Kamen Rider is like just, Jesus. If you want to see Kamen Rider Black, but always in Kaijin form, I highly recommend the Kamen Rider Black manga. Yes, I'd seen that. I'd seen like some covers or some pictures from that they showed that like Kaijin in there. I definitely should find like some translation of that. Doomzilla. Hi, Prof. Hey, Doomzilla. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're having a good night. Honestly, I never expected that being a Godzilla fan would be expensive. Yeah, I didn't think that either. Yeah, in the manga, Kotaro always uses the monster form. It even has its own figure by... Oh, yeah, I've seen some of those, the sick figures, and they are, in fact, sick. I kind of wish that I had been in... Seeing some of those figures that they've been released made me wish that I was into Toku earlier. Because, like, I would have loved to get, like, the Hokkaider figure, because I think Sick released one for him or something like that. I remember seeing some stuff, like, from some movies and series that, like, I absolutely dug the design. Hello, Vincent Monzano. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're having a good night. I think Black Sun is gonna be a movie. See, that's what I thought too, but then I talked to someone and they said it's supposed to be a series. So I'm not entirely sure anymore, but I've heard that it was supposed to be a series. So that I really hope it would be a series, because, like, as much as, like, it would be cool for a movie, even if it was, like, a short, like, say, like, 6-10 episode series, I would love for it to be more than just a one and done thing. At the very least, Ultraman has a lot more releases in the West. Yes, it does. And I'm glad Kamen Rider is finally getting the same treatment. I hope that's what it turns into. I am absolutely floored and excited that Kuga, which to me so far has been the absolute best Kamen Rider that I've seen, I'm so happy that's finally getting a Blu-ray release. More people need to see that series. And I hope that it means that more is coming out. I hope that this isn't just, we got Kuga, and then, you know, like, you're waiting and it's like another 5 years before we get something else out over here. And luckily, Shout Factor got the same license for, Super Sentai. Yeah. I saw that. I hope that continues. I really hope that Sentai and Kamen Rider finally get their... Because I know Sentai had the stuff before with the DVDs. I hope that comes back, and I hope we get more of that, and people get to see it. Damn, I gotta skedaddle. Glad to chat with you. Oh, sorry, missed that, Chris. Hope... see you. Have a good night. Happy you dropped by. Yeah, the issue with Kamen Rider is that sometimes it does rely on supplemental material for certain events, like Gaim and Saber had appearances by villains from the other movies. Okay. Kamen Rider Revice is really good, but I do agree that to the extent that the gimmick is crap. Yeah, I think I can't remember. I think that's the Stamp one, right? Like, I think that some of the gimmicks are just a little too goofy for me. But then, I mean, I know some of the series are more lighthearted, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just a, you know, like... I just know that I feel that some things are just a little bit... It's a little hard to get into. For me, continuity lockout is something of an obstacle for me as far as Toku's concerned at times. Yeah, it's one of those that you really just need to find and talk to people who already know the series. Like, if you really, you know, if you want, like, the details on, like, you know, what series would be better to watch than others. I hope that Funko PI... Oh, Futo PI. Sorry. Oh yeah, the sequel manga getting an anime will bring some more love to Kamen Rider Toku in general from the Western anime. Yeah, I hope so too. I do know that Gridman had a problem with that because a lot of people didn't realize that, you know, Gridman was a thing. But I'm happy that not long after that we did get the Blu-ray release of the original Gridman. I do think, though, that some of the stuff should be planned out a bit better. I think that with W coming out as the anime, I think that they should obviously, like, someone needs to get the rights to that to the original Toku and get that put out, so that they can say, hey, this is based off of this original live action show and it's a sequel series. And then people will be like, oh, they're watching the anime and they really like it, and they're like, okay, maybe someone who's never even watched Toku before, and they're like, I think I'd like to give this a try. And then, oh, what do you know? It's right there, easy to get, and consume and everything, and not have to go to 10 dark places on the internet to find, the fan subs of. I know it's not that hard, but I mean, like, it's still, the fact is, it's always, like, funny to me that some of these companies literally just leave money on the table. It's like you're trying to make more money off of this stuff, yet you consistently make choices that make you less money. Like, I've actually recently gotten to Kaiju. I think I might be obsessed with it. I have not watched the original Kaiju or like some of the other Kaiju stuff, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind trying some of it out. Just because of the sheer fact of like Kaiju, like the Kaiju movie, and because like I remember always being kind of interested in it because there was that Kaiju anime, or sorry, Kaiju anime that came out a long time ago and it was on Adult Swim, and I was so confused by it, but also like intrigued by it because I didn't understand what was going on because I always like missed like 10 episodes every here and there. But I know that's like a really early toku with some of the designs, but I definitely wouldn't mind seeing like giving a shot to some of those older ones and seeing like where that stuff really started from. My favorite writer series will always be Ryuki. Yeah, I think Ryuki, cause I think if I was going in order, that was going to be like the next or the second next like series I was going to watch, but then I decided to skip around. I lost my place. Black Sun will be a live action musical. Actually, I'd be down with that. I actually like musicals. Like, I get what they're going with for Revice, but it's supposed to be signing a contract for demons and stuff. Oh, is that what that is? Okay, because I always thought some of the names of the certain suits was a bit weird. Like, one of them was called Demons, or Demon, and another one was like, yeah, okay. I think I actually like that a little bit more, knowing that that's why it's like the stamp, like it's a contract. Okay. The Revice suit is absolutely ugly, but I love it. Yeah, I've been very mixed on it, and I think again it might be one of those I if I watch it, I might get more into it. I don't hate the pastel colors, but it was definitely one of those like I had to like see a bunch of clips of it before I was like okay with it. It definitely is a choice, and it's definitely more unique. Like, it definitely helps them stand out. Kamen Rider Blu-ray release, yeah, definitely. The W release, yeah. Oh yeah, explaining fan subs to a friend, they were shocked. You wait nearly a year to see movies because they have no subs. Yeah, like, we're unfortunately not, it's not the anime community where people, like, there's, like, 20 different providers for fan subs, like, on a weekly basis. They were genuinely confused that these shows have over 20 years of legacy that are loved by audiences outside of Japan and don't have any legal way of getting them. Yeah, it's absolute bullshit. Super Raya has done it so well with having the shows on YouTube. Yes, Super Raya has, like, knocked it out of the park. Not only have they been releasing Blu-ray after season of Ultraman, but they also putting a bunch of stuff on their, on their YouTube channel. Like, Toei, what the fuck are you doing? There were 2 Kaiju anime. Oh, there were 2. Okay, I only knew of the one, and I'm assuming that was like a 90s or early 2000s anime. The monster designs in the Kaiju Toku were not made with suits in mind. In the Kaiju Toku were not made with suits in mind. Okay, I definitely will have to check that out at some point. Also, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, low-key one of the best Western adaptations of any Japanese content. I've heard some people say that. I have not seen a lick of the Western adaptation. The one I really want to see is Masked Rider, because of how cursed it is. And I know I saw a little bit of it back when I was a kid, but I don't remember, like, any of it. But I know that's like one of those like lost media things, unfortunately. It's a shame though, because like I think we should remember things even when they're cursed. Yeah, these Kamen Rider Live and his demon sidekick Kamen Rider Evil, they weren't very subtle for using a word. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Live and Evil, oh yeah, they're back and forwards. That's funny. The other Kaiju anime is an OVA sequel to the first anime. Oh, it's depressing as hell. Oh. Ugh. Boy. Yeah, I really did pay $20 to Streamlabs, and I really probably shouldn't have done that. That sucks. Okay. I've kind of forgotten everything that I was thinking about doing in this stream, unfortunately. Also, I've noticed that, I don't... I had set up something through... I don't see it working in my chat, which... And it's, that kind of sucks. I wonder if I have to do something else to start it in the chat or not. I was trying to have something set up in like the Nightbot. Man, I was trying to like do a bunch of stuff before this stream to try to make it a little bit more interesting, and then I find out that like half the things are not working, or I don't remember how to do them, you know. But it's like, hey, you know, this is just gonna probably be a more chillax, laid back sort of thing. I'll just talk about stuff that's going on, and again, hope that G-Fest peeps are having fun where they are. Oh, I could look through the stream here, too, and I don't have to go through. Okay. I guess that makes more sense. I could go for a bowl of Gaios right now. Juggler's Juggler. So could I. So could I. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll actually do a skit for that. Has been great so far. Oh, thank you, TV Toku. I really enjoy that. I'm really happy that you say that. The YouTube emojis are cursed. Why? Yeah. I've really debated a lot of stuff with streaming and everything, like whether I just want to do on YouTube or try to do Twitch or do like a dual thing. I love... It's like the unfortunate thing is like my audience is on YouTube, obviously, like I don't even have a Twitch channel. Like, I have a Twitch account, but I don't, like, have a real channel or anything. But, the way that Twitch works is just, it's so much, like, nicer and funnier and just, like, the little things you can do on it. So, like, you know, streaming on YouTube makes way more sense than streaming on Twitch. But I know there's ways to, like, dual stream and everything. I have thought about doing that and seeing, like, if maybe I could have something on Twitch. Because I know a lot of people will stream on Twitch and then they'll, like, upload videos and highlights and stuff like that on, or their VODs onto YouTube. So it's just one of those, like, I've debated about a lot of different stuff to do. So, yeah. So anyway. Hey, guys. So, I think I'll say it like this. So this is probably going to be a segment. Yeah, so I haven't done anything for this channel for a long time. I can't remember when the last video... What was the last video I put up? It has been... Oh, man, it's been almost a year. That's really cool. But I think I streamed, though, so... Oh, September. Okay, so... Yeah. Yeah. So, I haven't really been doing much on YouTube, which, you know, sucks, but it has allowed me to think about a lot of stuff. So, I'm gonna redo this. Okay, so segment time. So yeah, so I haven't been on YouTube in a long time. Haven't done anything. Haven't done any streams. Haven't made any videos. Unfortunately, I really have wanted to. It's been something that I have battled with myself for a while, but I'm happy that I didn't really try to because I've just been honestly a lot of stuff has been going on. You know, like my own personal stuff. Some stuff with like my job. I just recently started a new job, which honestly, with the new job and a lot of other stuff that has been going on, I have been in a better mental place than I have been for a long time. I have battled with some stuff for like probably years and stuff that I didn't really some stuff I didn't really know that was there, unfortunately, and some stuff that I definitely knew was there. And I think recently I've been feeling much better than I have in a long time. But I also know I've said that to myself before in the past where I felt like I was definitely on top of things. But I feel like I think the best way is just I'm understanding who I am more, which sounds really weird to say. But man, there's a reason why therapy is a thing, because it's really hard to understand all the stuff that's going on inside of you at any given time, trying to unravel stuff. And I've been doing that for a long time. And I think a lot of stuff was just holding me back with making stuff like I hate saying that because I always feel bad saying stuff like, I'm being held back from this content creation, or like this is making my content bad when I haven't been putting stuff out. But like that was the problem. Like it's stuff that like was causing me not to want to put stuff out because I had this whole battle that every time I wanted to put something out, I want to make it the best as I can. Like that's just part of me. I've always unfortunately been a perfectionist. But sometimes it would be so bad that just I would get excited thinking about making something, and then I would start getting stressed out thinking about all of the stuff that I would have to do to make that, because it's like, okay, I have to write something. I hate writing. That's like one of my first things. Like I just utterly hate it. And one of the reasons why I hate it is because I hate everything that I write. Like I always have like no confidence in what I write, and it's aggravating for a lot of that stuff. So like that would be the first hurdle, because like a lot of the videos I want to do, I don't want to just do off the cuff stuff. You know, like I've had some stuff where it's a bit more like an outline, a rough outline, but I still have to have a script. Like I want to have something scripted. I want to have something like planned out for sure. And that process is just so grating to me that that would be like my first hurdle. And then I would think about things like, well, if I want to do this, I want to do this, and that. I want to do like these skits. I want to do some of this high effort stuff. And thinking about all that stuff, all that time, energy I'm going to have to put into that would just be stress in the back of my mind. Like it would just pile up there, just thinking about all that stuff, which is not what I want this to be. Like I want to do YouTube and I want to have fun with it. But it's like a more complex problem, because the reason why I want to do all this stuff is like, not only do I want to just do better, do I want to make stuff that I'm proud of and stuff that I feel like is the best of my ability, but I have always wanted to try to make YouTube into a thing. Not per se like a full-time job, because I don't want to say I'm not delusional, because I don't want to ever say that to people who want to try to strive to do something on YouTube. But I know, especially considering how my YouTube channel started out and that I'm in tokusatsu stuff, and I have wanted to branch out to stuff, stuff related. Like there's definitely anime stuff that's adjacent that I'd love to talk about, and maybe even more things like stuff that I could feel that's related to Toku, and then maybe eventually start talking about other things that aren't as related to Toku infrequently, once in a while talk about something, so it's like has a bigger appeal, but it's still something that I have interest in. But because of that, every single time I want to make a video, those thoughts would go through my head as like, okay, part of me would try to tell myself, just make the video. Do what you can, put some effort into it, but you don't have to make this feel like this is your magnum opus. And then the other voice in my head would be like, well, you are trying to make something out of YouTube. If you don't try to make it your magnum opus, like, you're never going to get anywhere. And then the problem is that these, that voice would become really, really loud, and then end up not making anything. And that's even worse. So I've gotten to a point where I feel like now that I really just want to make content. I want to make stuff that I just want to make and actually have fun with. Stuff that I'm excited about. And fuck it, whether or not it's like the best thing ever. I just want to make stuff, and I'm not going to get anything on this out of anything on this platform if I don't put stuff out. And I just want to get back to like actually enjoying the things I make, the jokes that I put into them, the effort I put into it, the editing that I put into it. I just want to get back into that. So, and I feel like I kind of feel like that I'm in that mental space now that I think I can do that again. And I really want to. But I'm not making any promises. I'm not putting any time stamps on anything, because every single time I've just backfired on me. I'm not good with that stuff. So I'm going to just say, yes, I want to come back onto YouTube. I want to make my channel more active again. I don't know how active it is. I want to figure out like how things are going with work, because I want to do stuff like I want to make live streaming like an actual thing. I don't know if I'm going to have like more of a structured thing. Like I had said before about doing cosplay live stream stuff, which I still very earnestly want to do, because I have not really worked on it. So many things I've said in my videos where I'm like, I'm gonna conquer the fucking world, and just a fucking liar. But it is what it is, unfortunately. So I want to have something structured where like maybe I'll do 1 or 2 live streams a month, maybe, or maybe I'll do it more frequently. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say, but I definitely want to make it more regular. Maybe just a live stream where I'm chatting once in a while. Maybe a live stream once in a while that's cosplay related. Maybe something that's gaming. I've wanted to do that. I do like games, but but I wouldn't even want to do that, because my first thought is like, oh, Bryce, everyone does gaming streams. Like, that's not special. But it's like, fuck you, Bryce. I just want to make a stream that I like, okay? Like, shut up. Like, I just want to just do something, So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to just have fun. And I'm going to beat up my other self that keeps telling me that I should just, try to conquer the world with every video I put out. But the other thing I've been having trouble with has been what kind of content I've wanted to make. And I do think I still want to do videos like I have been doing. But I've been battling with like how they're structured, what I'm doing in them. The other battle that I've had like more recently has been about like what I want to put in these videos, because I went through a whole phase of being afraid that my videos weren't contributing to anything. Like, there was no meaning in them. Because, like, I have a lot of channels now I watch that do a lot of video essays, and a lot of them I really like. I really like the opinions I hear. I like the way, some of these people make me think about things. And now I look at my content and think, man, Bryce, what are you saying? What do you bring to the table? And it took me a long time to just remember that, like, the reason I made this channel was, like, I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to make people enjoy this stuff and maybe throw some information in there that maybe some people wouldn't have heard of. It's like, again, I gotta realize, like, I've had to, and this is a bigger battle than I'm even making it seem like, but just had to, like, tell myself, not everyone's like that. Not everyone has that type of, that mind for those types of videos and doing some type of stuff and doing, like, the crazy amount of research, figuring stuff out. But part of me really wanted to be that. But I just, like, being comedic, being entertaining, and trying to put something out there. Like, I'm going to put my opinion in these videos. I'm going to put some of that stuff out there. I'm going to try to do as much, well, okay, I won't say as much research as possible, Because if I was trying to do as much research as possible, I'd probably have to be like getting translations for like some Japanese PDFs and books and stuff like that to figure out stuff. But I'm not at that level for this stuff. But like, I'd like to at least look out there and like say someone's like, oh, this movie's kind of weird, and it's like, well, here's why. You know, here's the production history and why it was so odd or whatever. And you know, you can glean something from it. And unfortunately, maybe that will just be some Wikipedia article bullshit. You know, unfortunately, sometimes that's all that's out there without having to, like, either dig for several hours or, like, buy something. And, I just gotta tell myself, that's okay. You know, there's a lot of people that I watch online that just are really good at comedy, are really good at entertaining people. And that's why I started this. You know, I want to find those roots again. I want to make people laugh. Hopefully, have my own spin on things. I'm a pretty funny guy, despite what I tell myself sometimes. So that's what's happening. I want to come back, but I'm not giving a set. Not telling you a date. No, not doing that. Not saying how frequently that's going to be either. But I will say that with my new job and my new headspace, I feel like I can actually say that I will bring the stuff out soon. And that's all I'm saying. And even then, I'm not making a promise, because God knows, maybe something will happen tomorrow and it's like, oh no, my house blew up. Let's hopefully not jinx that, but you know, hopefully that won't happen and I'll be able to put out more content. So, you know, hooray! The Prof is back, hopefully. Or at the very least, maybe I'll just do live streams for a while, I know, because this is like... I don't want to say live streams are low effort. But comparatively to making a fully edited, fully scripted video, me just getting myself up on camera like this and talking, or even if it was just like playing a video game, you know, like a little easier, a little bit more, you know, turn my brain off a bit for stuff, so we'll see. But that's it. That's what I've been doing. You know, battling mental problems. Yay! Anyway, hopefully I haven't, like, lost everyone after that. Can't wait for Shin Ultraman. Gaios, it turns milk red. Yes. Yes, it does. I'll have to watch Orb to get that Gaios reference. It's a reference. It's a deep reference. Well, Prof, I've been silently following you for a long time on here, and I've always enjoyed your content. I appreciate your candor and honesty. I've only made 2 videos so far myself, but your channel was one of my main inspirations. Oh. Thank you, man. That means honestly a lot. That's something that I've hoped to do too with this channel, is like, you know, if anyone were to watch me and gain any type of like anything from it, you know, I never want to like have the type of ego that like I'm like, oh yeah, I'll totally be the inspiration for people. But if for some reason someone decided to click on one of my videos and decided to watch it and something sparked that would mean a lot. And so I'm happy I could do that for you, however much, you know. And yeah, yeah, never feel bad about the 2 video thing, man. That is, you know, don't. It's, putting any kind of content out there at all is, oh, Lord, it's a struggle. It's a huge struggle. It's a huge struggle putting yourself out there, and a huge struggle just, making stuff in general, you know, so feel proud of that, like, honestly. Do what you love. The realist approach is really nice to see. Yeah, it is. It is. It's really hard for that feeling, because of the fact that, like, most of the work, the job that I've had the longest, it really drained me like mentally, like my emotionally, I felt like on almost like a spiritual level, I was just so dead inside. That part of the reason why I really want, part of the thing about YouTube was I was hoping that at the very least I could do it as like a side job. And I still have that sort of aspiration. That's like my dream with YouTube, is like being able to say I'll work a sort of 9 to 5 job that's like maybe 4 days a week, 3 days a week, something like that, where I can make something that's what's the right word? Like a solid paycheck that I know is going to come in, and then I can work the other day or two and put that towards YouTube. And I would hopefully have something established before I would make plans like that. But I would know that YouTube would bring in enough money to keep things going, and fill in the rest of the monetary things. So that's been the hope. But the thing at the end of the day, I don't want to do anything that I'm not going to enjoy. Like, it's going to come from like part of me. Like, even if it's a video that was like, say, more mainstream, I wouldn't just make that to try to appeal to like mainstream. I would want to make it because I have some type of enjoyment in the subject matter, and it's something that I actually would want to make. It just happened that this content is actually like jives with it. Just happened that the things crossed around at the same time. Off topic, but remember back when I mentioned Synthogear, what I failed to mention was that every season opens with a concert being interrupted by the villains. I've heard of Synthogear. Synthogear. That's funny. I like that. That's being interrupted by the villains like that. That one looks interesting to me, like with the concert singing and the anime crazy like magical girl-esque fighting. Toku Society, hey man, thanks for dropping in. It's going. I don't know if you were here for all that like real talk, but other than that, it's going fairly well. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you're at G-Fest or you're not at G-Fest, but hope you're doing all right. By the way, I'm actually making my own original Toku character and costume. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. It's going to be more Showa based though, since I don't have the budget or creativity to make a Heisei or Reiwa design. Man, that's fine. It's like, whatever. Like, I like some of the older Showa stuff, and like I'm totally down for like the more campy looks of that type of stuff. So yeah, I hope that goes well for you and you'll be able to make something. I've always wanted to. I have a very creative mind, but trying to completely visualize like an original design concept has always been. So, to actually put something out there, like fully develop that, has always been hard for me. Like I have plenty of ideas for stories and stuff like that, but I've always wanted to try to make something like that, sort of. So I hope it goes well for you, man. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Not chasing trends algorithm, chasing your passions and what interests you have instead. Honestly, even if the Goji Gridman, etc., if you love it, others will too. Yeah. The problem is that a lot of that stuff, you have to be sort of lucky to get like interest enough for like revenue, if I ever want to do that. But like, I would hope that I could find enough of an audience that maybe it could be something. But yeah, but at the end of the day, I still, it's one of those, like, I just hope that what I put out there is liked by others, and that maybe it makes something, and you know what, hell, like, if it doesn't end up working out that way, honestly, the stuff I've been learning from YouTube, maybe I could turn that into another job, because, like, I definitely have been learning plenty with editing and other software, that has been another avenue that I've been looking to pursue. So, because, like, I actually do enjoy the editing process. I know a lot of people don't, but there's something nice about having these ideas and being able to actually make them come to life through just, editing things together Especially like I've been trying to learn more Blender recently and making things through there too, and it's a really fun process. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of getting used to shortcuts and stuff that can be very tedious, but it's in the end it always makes it feel better when I've done it. I will try to make it a G-Fest next year, but things are going pretty well here. Okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure. I've seen random people talk like on Twitter and show stuff about G-Fest, but yeah, I'm thinking about trying again, like actually trying next year, but I'm just gonna have to see with everything. I think it will depend more on who is going next year. If I know ahead of time that a bunch of people I'd like to see are going there, then I think I definitely will try for it. But if not, I'm not sure. And hopefully this, see about well this other convention's going to go. What was it again? Monsters Attack, All Monsters Attack, or whatever, the one that's happening like Indiana. I'm curious to see how that goes. Maybe some competition for G-Fest. But either way, I think definitely either G-Fest or that con next year. Hearing people's emotional invested is enthralling to watch personally for me. Regardless of what it's about, I can listen to someone talk about hammers if they're pouring their souls into it. That's true. And I'm happy that a lot of people enjoy that, because I know that a lot of things on YouTube and the internet in general are obsessed with just hating things. And there's definitely some stuff that I hate, for sure. And I'm definitely not straying away from that in my videos about, like, bashing some stuff. But I never want to be 100% negative in a video. Like, even if I'm talking about something I don't really like, I'm always willing to talk about the stuff that I think was good and well done with stuff. But it makes me happy to see that there are other people who are genuinely happy, or genuinely like get pleasure out of seeing others talk about stuff that they're happy about, because it's hard to find that on YouTube. It's aggravating to see all these channels that just do nothing but like hate videos get so many views on them. Isabella Rivero, hi Isabella. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for dropping in. Been kind of interested in writing a crossover between Ruby and 009, where the Ruby characters fight the villains in that series. That's interesting. I watched the 009 anime series for a while on Cartoon Network, or Adult Swim, or Toonami. I don't remember which of the three. I can't remember what program block it came on in. But that was an interesting series. I liked some stuff from that. I almost wouldn't mind going back and trying to actually watch it all the way through. That was one of those series that I feel like my child, like when I watched it when I was younger, it churned the gears in my head of like, there was a battle with like these two androids that were polar opposites. Like they had this speed thing, but they were like different like magnetic charges or whatever. And I remember that 009 used that against them to defeat them. Like they came together and then they like blew up or whatever, or charged each other out. And that was like one of the first times like I think my brain clicked that's like, they beat them not by just gaining another power and turning Super Saiyan 75, but they actually used their brains to come up with a strategy. What? I always it's something about that like I always remembered. And I always thought like, oh, like that stuff it's not always just about like who has the bigger beam attack. And I think that's probably why I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure so much. So that people probably complain about other things with that show about how ridiculous things are, but that's whatever. It's still fun. It's fun watching giant buff guys or giant slim, very homosexual guys yell things out while other homosexual-looking spirit energy ghost men beat the shit out of each other. I love JoJo. Anyway, I definitely think there's a difference between being critical and just straight up trashing something too, because you can be passionate but critical, as we said earlier. Yeah, I'm definitely nothing. I hate when people mix up the two. Like, I do hate that when people are being critical of something and people say to that person that they hate something, because like I completely understand when someone's just like, hey, I do enjoy this thing, but here's my problems with it. And then even some people who are critical of it but play it off like they hate the series, but like if you actually um watch it, like if you actually like watch what they're saying, you know that they actually care about the show or the thing that they're talking about. Because I've seen that with certain creators I watch where people are just like, oh, you hate so and so, and it's like, no, man, they wouldn't be talking about this if they hated it. You know, like they obviously actually enjoy this thing. You know, they just, you know, yeah, you sometimes, whatever. I've kind of lost my mental track for that one. The Double Nine series is really good. It's on Retro Crush. If you want. Oh man, I've been meaning to double check on Retro Crush because I know they got some fun retro anime on there. I should. But some designs really haven't aged well. Oh, is '08 the? Is he the black one? Oh, oh no. Oh yeah. Something you have to. Yeah, that was the episode with 010. Oh, okay, yeah. That was in the Assassin's arc, which was the first major arc of the show after the beginning two-parter. Oh, okay, yeah. I felt like it was the first, like, I remember it being like their first, like, big battle. God, I love JoJo. My best mate has 2 full tattoo sleeves of it. Oh my god. Yeah. Which makes me very sad about what's going on with Part 6 and Netflix and how much they've screwed that up. I definitely should probably just read the manga for it. You are wrong. It's Super Saiyan 75 God. No, I think you're wrong. It's actually, God. It's actually 75 God Super Saiyan 75 God. You have to add the extra God before Super Saiyan God. I haven't watched anything from from Dragon Ball Z Super, but man, that naming convention is just really fucking weird. JoJo is amazing. It does come down to strong punching ghosts. Yeah, in some of them. I mean, the thing I like about it is that they have a lot of situations where they have to outthink the enemy. Like, it was like part 4 when they started doing that. You know, like up to part 3, Jotaro and his stand. It was basically his stand was just, my guy can punch and he can punch really good. But then in part 4, they're like, what if they didn't punch really good, but instead could boil water at a really high temperature, but only in certain situations south of the border, but only on Thursdays, but also could make you contract like a leprosy, and also had control over paper bags. And that would be the strongest enemy that they have faced to that point, and almost bring the main character to the point of death. Then they'd have to figure out how they could use their guy who could punch really good, but his punching really good could also do like one other thing, you know, like cut your grass. And he'd have to do some quick thinking to figure out how that grass cutting could help him do whatever I just said the other one could do. But yeah, that's what I find is fun. I will say though, I understand if people are not happy with how many times that they stop for a minute and they just talk for like 20 million minutes. I do get it, but I get so invested in the show that I'm just like, yes, explain to me the 7 paragraphs of exactly what's going on in these 2 split seconds, and how you've thwarted and countered the other stand's powers. Yeah, 008 was the black character, and I accidentally showed the original design to a black friend of mine. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about it at the time when I was younger, and now I'm like, oh, that's an oopsie. There are a lot of things that I regret in my high school years. Yeah. Yeah. He has Foo Fighters, Kira Killer Queen, Part 8 main JoJo the Osen logo from Part 4, and I think he is booked in to get Bucciarati. What? Wait, what? I missed that. Like, what was that in reference to? I literally half forgot what I just said, so I don't remember what you were referring to, or unless you're talking to someone else. Vincent Mazzano, love the fight in Stardust with Darby. Oh yeah, that one was fun. I liked that. I liked that he basically scared Darby to death. That was a good one. And then the other Darby with the video games. Darker Than Black has a lot of fights based on smarts over strength, which made me like it a lot. I think I started watching Darker Than Black when that first was starting to air, and I never got too far into it. I don't remember if, like, I just wasn't digging it, or if I just couldn't, like, I only had access to, like, an episode or two. Bleach suffered from that a lot. Yes, it did. It definitely did. The characters always talked and barely clashed swords together before talking again. Yeah. It also had the problem of just the whole escalating power thing. Like, I'm okay with that a few times. Like, there are some anime that's just the thing, and it's like, yeah, you know, I watched Dragon Ball. I enjoyed that. Not everything has to be, like, high level whatever. But, you know, it's also, like, it's hard for me to, like, a series has to have something interesting to it for me to watch it if it's only escalating power level stuff. The Darby Brother fights are definitely a lot of talking and still some of my absolute favorite fights. Yeah, they were fun. A lot of fun. I never knew that was a thing with the water when they were doing the whole, like, not letting the water, like, spill out of the cup thing. That was a very interesting thing. I remember my wife was in the room at the time, and she actually stopped and started watching the episode with me. And she's not a fan of JoJo. She really doesn't like... There's a bunch of things that she just hated hearing men scream at the top of their lungs for, and, like, I get it. It's not always everyone's cup of tea, you know. But she stopped and watched that one. That was a fun episode. For 12 hours, yeah. Oh, that was a reference to the tattoo sleeves. Sorry. Oh, the tattoo sleeves. Oh, that's awesome. Especially Kira, Killer Queen. Absolutely. Oh, Part 8's main... Oh, that's right, because that's like the reset universe thing, right? Yeah, I have only watched the anime, so I have not gotten into Part 7 or 8. But considering how Netflix has been handling the whole JoJo thing and not releasing the second half for, like, another year... I think I'm going to probably just read the manga. Like, it's just ridiculous. Those were reference tattoos. Bucciarati and Ultraman X share the same voice actor, Japanese. Oh, that's cool. Off topic again, but there's this YouTuber who hates Soul Eater even though he barely watched 8 episodes of the show. Some people, man, they just, you know. Kim, hey! Why you know at G-Fest? Me no have money. Or time. Me need make more money. So, and have more time. It honestly really didn't work out, Kim, because, like, I didn't have, the money to save up. Also, stuff happened with my job, and I'm just starting this week. Past week was, like, my first week at a new job. And... I haven't had any soda in a while, and I just keep having these, like, little burps, and it's driving me crazy. But this new job, first off, not feeling dead inside, so, you know, plus right there. But 2, I think the way it's scheduling with, like, the vacation time and stuff that you can get there, very plausible that I will try. I'm gonna shoot for G-Fest next year. Unless I find out that, like, no one going, like, no one I want to see is going, you know, like, if I find out you're going to next G Fest, or Matt's going to next G Fest, or Jake is going, or some other people are going, I will absolutely go if people are showing up. But like the biggest thing is if I find out that like everyone's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it, then I probably won't do it. But I will definitely try for next year. And I would also like to see how that new Monsters Attack thing goes, like the one in Indiana, the new Kaiju convention. Because that one would be 2 to 3 hours closer to me, which is nice. Unless I decide to take a plane, because the last couple of G-Fests I've driven, and man, 14-hour car drive is really fun. An 11-hour car drive would be actually a little bit more fun for the other con, but maybe I'll actually try to book a plane. Because, man, I was taking the car because that was cheaper, but with gas prices, it's not. Might as well just save up and take a freaking plane. I'm not going to give any names because I don't want any witch hunts, but still. Okay. Like, I know. I hate when people are just... I'm not a fan of being overly negative just to be negative. I'm okay with, like, some comedy negative stuff if people are just, like, playfully being, making jokes at something. But, yeah. I think mentioning some of the names of Part 8 is a bit confusing almost, so I just kept it to the part name. Yeah, because I know it's like some type of, like, reset universe, and it's like a lot of Part 4 stuff is... Part 4 characters are happening again in there, yeah. So I was just like, when I read some of that stuff, I was like, what is going on in Part 8? Congrats on your new job. I'm starting a new job, too. Oh, sweet. Yeah, thank you. And I hope it goes well for you, too. Yeah. Man, it was scary at first because, I've been at my past job for 7 years. But since I've started here, it made me realize that, like, no, you can actually start at a new job, And it actually helps. Sometimes just changing up things can be a really big help. I'm hoping that I do enjoy it because it's, just been a week of training and I still have like 3 more weeks of training. So I hope once I actually start doing the job, it'll be, not mind-numbingly bad. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it so far. And I hope whatever you're starting is also going to go well for you because, finding a good job that pays decent and a job that doesn't make you want to die is really hard to find sometimes. Okay, here's something I wanted to bring up about the main villain of 9. His real name is Skull, and his organization is called Black Ghost. But the dub, for some reason, Skull is renamed Black Ghost, but that's also the name of the organization. I remember that, I think. And I thought that was weird. I don't understand why they would not call him Skull. Or maybe even say Black Skull or something. Skull's name is also horribly mistranslated everywhere. Okay. That's weird. Because, yeah, that's kind of confusing. Just to call both of them the same thing. Yeah. Man, let me check something real quick. I don't think... No, I haven't gotten anything. Okay. That's unfortunate. Yeah. I was thinking that we might get a guest. I don't know, because I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to go on with the stream. But we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it going for a little bit longer. Yeah, the Blu-ray subs, his name is Scarl? In the American comics, his name is Sicar. And the DVD release of the 60s anime, his name is Scar? Was the person translating drunk? Was every translator drunk? I don't... That's always... It always gets me with sometimes the translations I see where they have trouble with certain shows or media, because it's like the language hasn't changed unless like the interpretation stuff has changed. Like maybe because I was gonna say, like, you know, the translations shouldn't have changed no matter what year it was, but perhaps our understanding of the Japanese language has gotten better, so that, you know, the translations were like worse back then because whatever translation classes we were teaching were just really, really bad. That's so weird. The only 009 thing to get his name right was the '09 versus Devilman OVA. So, like, the crossover movie that has no bearing on the entire show is the one where they actually get the stuff right. Oh my god. That tracks. That tracks. And I felt like there was something else I was going to talk about for the stream, but I should probably actually, like, write a list down of stuff that I want to talk about beforehand. But I think it's been pretty good. So far. Though, it's one of those, like, I had thoughts, like, way earlier yesterday or today about, like, oh, I should bring that up, and now I'm, like, my brain's completely blank on everything. That OVA also gets Van Valk's name right, another villain in the series whose name is horribly mistranslated everywhere. Yeah, with a name like that, I could imagine that probably does get mistranslated. Do you have a bootleg table featuring Gridman HD DVD at your G-Fest from home? Hey, Laura. No, I don't, but I wish I did. Is there a bootleg Gridman DVD at the G-Fest? Oh, man, that'd be hilarious. If there is. I mean, there probably is. So how are you doing tonight, Laura? Having fun? I saw that you met another Queen Caesar at the con. Looked like fun. I was curious, like, all the different cosplays there, because I saw a really good Godzilla cosplay going around there, and I don't know if I saw them at a previous G-Fest. I don't remember that suit. I thought I saw one. Okay. I'm not surprised at all. I just don't remember seeing... I don't remember seeing one the last time I was there. But I don't think I was, like, looking for it either last time. Because I had already found, like, decently subbed Gridman episodes by that point. Hell, the dub for 009, his name was renamed Alucard Van Valk. What the fuck? Man, these people are having fucking fun with this shit. Like, with some of these translations, just like, I don't know, just give him a name he never even had. Like, I would call him Steve Richards or whatever. With printer line on the DVD label and everything. Oh, man, that's... Listen. So, I was taught by, let me say, My teachings of the bootleg ways were passed down from my uncle back in the day. And I'll tell you what, that man put some pride and effort into his bootlegs when he made them. He had gotten a nice printer for that shit. And I kid you not, some of the ones that he made, when he got this nice Epson ink printer with, like, it actually had a DVD printer on it too. He made that stuff, and I would say about 90% of the time, it looked like a legit DVD. The cover, he got the cases and everything. Like he had perfected that. In the DVD release for Skullman, his name is... Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but... Okay. Oof. Just gonna be lurking for a bit. I'm still packing. Still listening. Okay, that's fine, Toku TV. Whatever. Thank you for still being here. Also, fun fact, the Skullman, the anime, was named as a prequel to '09. Creative use of a character who was supposed to be Kamen Rider at one point. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's one thing I've wanted to, like, maybe look into a little bit more is all the crossover stuff about Toku and anime, because, like, I don't think I realized just how much stuff that they borrowed from each other, like, especially like anime pulling from Toku stuff, but like Cyborg 009 that have, when you look at them, a very like early, like a Showa era kind of feel to them. Like, you could imagine that there was like a live action Showa series for it or something, because of the way that the characters and the way that the plot and characters look and the way that their costumes look and everything. Um, Sounds like a long, proud line of man, I stopped that for a long time, but Toku's kind of brought me back into that, because there's no other way to find so much of this other shit. The Skullman anime was actually animated by Bones of all companies. Oh, okay. I've got no problem with that. Bones is awesome. Yeah, Bones is pretty good. I'm only just now realizing why Bones worked on it. That is funny. I wonder if that was a reason, but it's funny if whether or not that a coincidence that they worked on it. Let me see. It is 11, basically 11:30. So I've been going for what, like 2 hours now. Yeah, I was thinking someone was gonna drop in, maybe. I knew it wasn't a definitive. Maybe I'll reach out to them. Maybe I'll just double check if they were gonna come by. You could watch some Garo. I should watch some Garo. I It's always hard for me sometimes to start new media. I really need to. There's Garo. There's all like the Metal Heroes series. There's, oh my god. There's too many. There's too many. That anime is amazing. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's got both the animation plus the different seasons of Toku. Garo Crimson Moon, on the other hand, sucked. Oh. Unfortunately, they can't all be winners. Yeah, I have lost the game. I've lost the mark now. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. My brain is shutting down. Oh no. You know, it doesn't seem like it, but sometimes just talking for 2 hours actually is a little draining. Not like, it's not per se like hard, but like it's still slightly taxing. Let me double check a couple things. I did that. Okay. Yeah. Vanishing Line thankfully redeemed Garo in the anime form. Cool. Same, first anime of Garo is great. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, my list of things that I have been meaning to watch is never ending, and just You know, I feel bad because I definitely have joked on one of my friends about his backlog of stuff that he needs to watch, and I always like looked at him and just like, man, like I don't get it. Why you don't get around to some of this stuff? And now here I am, and I get it. I get it. Oh, I get it. It happens. It's just it's harder, I think, sometimes for some toku shows because I am more of a storyline guy. I like watching something that has like some type of like solid through line with it and everything. Um, but for a lot of tokus, I know it's not. No, it's episodic, and some of the stuff doesn't carry over to every episode. Like that, I think that part gets me the most with Toku. I think I'd be a bit more okay with the episodic if, you know, a character in one episode learned, hey, don't be a dick, and they were like, you know what, you got a point. Maybe I won't be a dick next time. And then the next episode, they're still a dick. And it's like, I get it. It's episodic. It was a kid's show. I just wish that certain like things like that carried over. You know, that sometimes I think is more bothersome. Like when obviously the character feels like they should be a little different by now, but because they're just having these random, you know, like every week show episodes, you know, it's, yeah, I think that's it's a thing I have a problem with some things, you know. Just, you know. Anyway, fun fact: the first Garo anime, the character designs were done by the author of Shaman King. Shit, that's cool. Same guy designed Choco Love. Neat. Oh, okay. Garo the animation has a really cool designs and fights. I'm trying to remember. There's another Toku show that I've been meaning to. That was like a higher up on my list. Because I liked the designs I saw. I think it was like Guy Freed. I liked the look of that suit. And then also there was that really short, like 6-episode run of I'm gonna butcher the name. It's like it's the one with the watermelon kaiju, and it's like a robot fighting them, a mech fighting them. That one, mainly because of that watermelon kaiju, I've really wanted to watch. And I should, because it's like a short series. It's like, I think it's like only 6 episodes or whatever. I'm so inherently bad at this. Same guy. Then there was Sword Guy Toshiki Inoue at his worst, sadly. Oh no. Guyford. Okay, Guyford. Yeah. Oh, Mikazuki. I knew it started with an M, but I knew as soon as I tried it, I knew I was gonna like. I want to say like Mizukashi or something. It's called Mikazuki. Mikazuki. Yeah. Ever since I saw that one clip that went around on Twitter and it like blew up with that watermelon kaiju, I was like, I have to see this. Still haven't seen it. Because I am really, really, really bad. I'm really, you know, it's really, I think it's worse for me because like I'm supposed to be a YouTuber and I'm supposed to be basing my stuff off of like, oh, I'm going to talk about these different series and stuff. Like I'd like to get into tokusatsu, kaiju stuff and actually like watch these series I haven't seen and talk about them. And yet I have problems getting into these series to watch them. It was written by Toshiki Inoue. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Tekuki Mikazuki. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I had it, I think I have it like saved on like a list. Like I think I have like a Google document that I have some of the series on there, so I don't forget them. Like Kamen Rider Ultraman, that stuff is like that's not a problem at all finding that stuff. But like some of those more obscure Toku series, like I definitely have like a list of. That watermelon was scary. Yes, it was. I don't know how like you made a watermelon scary, but those people were like, yes, we're gonna find a fucking way to. My relationship with his writing is complicated. On one hand, he wrote Kamen Rider Agito. Oh, okay. Kiva, Jane Jiron, and Jetman. I've seen Agito, and I did really enjoy Agito. After I had to forget that it was supposed to originally start off as a Kuga sequel. Because that did definitely throw me off at the beginning once they kind of like changed that and dropped that whole thing. But then he created Sword Guy and was behind the anime adaptation on Netflix. I am definitely interested in at least looking at that because it sounds like it was a train wreck. That's unfortunate. It's on YouTube. Remember the quality being alright. Oh, okay. Maybe I should just watch it on there. How are you liking Ultraman Decker? Are you asking me? Because I am not watching Ultraman Decker. Unfortunately, I'm not current. Ultraman is. Actually, no. I think. Let me think. I think Super Sentai would be the big Toku series that I have the least amount of experience with, because I have yet to watch a single episode of a Super Sentai, which I should be shamed for. I've seen plenty of clips. I've seen plenty of clips from different Sentai series, but I really need to watch, at least start one and watch it. But Ultraman would be like the next up. Like, I have seen several portions of a couple seasons, but I'm definitely not. I've not seen anything from Decker. I can't remember. I feel like I've seen some people say that they didn't like Decker, I think. I don't remember. I know that like I know that Trigger was shit on a lot, but I don't know. I also don't like Fai's Sword Guy though. Just feels like Garo, but crap. Fitting since Kate Amamiya did the character and creature designs of that series. Okay. Yes, I was asking if you were watching Ultraman. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like, I'm definitely not current on Ultraman. I'm very much not a Ultraman guy right now. I'd like to change that. I really like to change that. I think it's got some fun stuff in it and some good stuff in it. I definitely would love to see some of the Ultraman Kaiju designs I've seen. I would love to see them actually in the show being utilized and everything. And some of the other characters, like Belial, seems interesting. I know I've seen some people complain that he's like an overused character, but I would definitely love to see like when he first appears in Ultraman and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just one of those, like, I have trouble because I always feel like I should be watching some of these series from the very beginning, but that can be hard to do. You know, and it's also like very daunting. But with Ultraman, I've definitely been bouncing around to a couple seasons that I like Nexus. Like, I really have liked Nexus, and I need to finish that because I would definitely love to go watch like the some of the other series like Tiga and everything, because I always hear good stuff about that, and I'd love to see like some of that stuff where it's like, you know, culturally, like, it seems like everyone in the fandom, it's like, this is one of the best series, and I'm like, I should just do that, you know. I think some people, when they talk about tokusatsu, make it feel like you need to watch the original series, and I think that it's good if you do watch them. I just don't like the way some people talk about it, like, if you haven't seen some of the original series, then you have no right to talk about this franchise. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't, it's kind of gatekeepy. I mean, that kind of really is gatekeeping, and I get it. I get that some of these shows is like where the stuff was based off of, but like some people have trouble with like older media, and some tokusatsu stuff I can see. It's a bit harder to get into. Um, and honestly, like the writing, like some of those series, like that stuff was the basis, but like it, gets a lot better with some of the later series because they had that stuff to base it off of, and these series are more popular for a reason because they're like a bit more put together. They have some really cool stuff that maybe the old series were trying to get off the ground. Like things that they weren't able to execute properly, and then they did. But I have some problems with the fandom around some of these series because I understand where they're coming from. I understand some of the things that they feel, but I do feel like it definitely pushes a lot of people out or makes them probably feel awkward. Probably people who've never even voiced their opinions about it, like see people on Twitter talk about it. There's probably a ton of people who have seen that stuff and just been turned off by it because of that. Not saying that you shouldn't try to watch these old series, but you're not obligated to. Like if you want to give some of them a shot, then yeah, I definitely would encourage that. Because this is like where they base the stuff off of. But I understand that's not easy to get through. Like I haven't seen the original Kamen Rider, but I'm really interested in Shin Kamen Rider coming out, and I think I would like to, at the very least, if I don't watch the entire series before the movie comes out, I would definitely like to watch a good portion of it before hopefully seeing Shin Kamen Rider whenever that comes out, and hopefully if it actually does get some type of like North American release at the same time, like like Shin Ultraman is sort of getting in a limited scale. Kaiju Miya is a great designer and director. I love his work, especially Garo. Yes, that's why like I love like so my good friend Matt Burkett of Monstrosities Tokusatsu channel, he got me to watch when I first started with some when I first started with Kamen Rider, because he had an older video on his channel about starting with Kamen Rider, and it was Kamen Rider J and Zeto, and those were the first two movies I watched, the first two things of Kamen Rider I watched, and I loved them. I loved Zeto a lot more than J, I'll say. I don't think that J's bad per se, but definitely putting them together, like Zeto is it's just better. And I saw, I've seen some of other Amamiya's work, because I'm pretty sure he did Hokkaido, right? I'm not screwing that up, right? I think it was like Hokkaido as well, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the fucking hell out of that. I don't remember if I bought the DVD of that, but I think I got the DVD of that, and then when they released the Blu-ray like a year or so ago, I got that too, because I really wanted to have that on high definition and then make all my friends watch it and then make them say, Bryce, please stop making us watch these obscure Japanese movies, or we're never going to come back over to your house. And I'm like, bitch, the door is locked and I threw away the key. You're never leaving. But anyway. Yeah. Ultraman monsters get reused a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of their designs, I think a lot of times, like, the reason a lot of them get used because those designs are very memorable. Like, I've forgotten. My brain is, I'm starting to come down now, and I'm having trouble remembering stuff, and I don't want to, I'm gonna forget, like, everything. But yeah, I know a lot of those designs are definitely, they're reused for a good reason. They were solid designs when they were made, and just people love them. Like, Gubira's suit must be made of titanium because that suit has been used since 2012. Oh, you mean actually the suit being reused? Oh shit. Oh, that's crazy. A decade and it's been reused. Yeah, that must be made of some good shit. And still being used today. That, unless you watch the original argument, goes away with Cyborg 008 now. doesn't it? That unless you watch the original argument. Yeah, that's yeah. It's like it's an argument that like I get parts of, but I also think it's just not exactly the best thing in the world. Um Whatever. I don't have the mental my brain is like starting to go downhill, and I don't have the mental facilities to like just like have a nuanced talk about some of this stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's like, you know. Zeto is the best Kamen Rider film ever. I have only seen 3 Kamen Rider films, and yes, out of all 3 of them, that it's definitely, to me, the fucking best. He did do the Kaiju movie. Okay, I wasn't remembering that wrong. The dub for that movie is hilarious. I don't think I've seen the dub for that movie. A shame since Richard Epcar voices Hokkaido in the dub. Oh, really? Oh, I think I like him. Because I knew that he voiced Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts. That's like what I remembered him doing. In case you didn't know, he voiced Old Joseph in the dub of JoJo. I watched the dub for JoJo. I watched like parts 1 and 2 somewhat dubbed. And then I think I flipped completely over to Japanese. I think I flipped over to Japanese part way through part 2. And then I just watched, sub the rest of the way. Oh my god. Yeah, I would do that to my friends, absolutely. Thankfully, I do try to choose, like, stuff that I feel like they're actually going to be interested in. Like Hokkaido. It's a good film. I think most of them have the same, some of them have the same, general tastes, stuff, so. Both dub and sub is on Tubi. I have not taken a look at Tubi, but I know that Tubi has a lot of, it seems like they have a lot of good stuff on there to watch. Like some mixed shows and movies on there. I should probably actually take a look at it. I prefer the dub because it's weird hearing British people speak Japanese. Do you mean the sub? Did you mean? Jotaro sounds so good in Japanese, I can't do dub. Yeah, I used to be a complete sub supremacist way back in the day, but a few years back I started listening to more dub. I think the one that really broke me out of it was with SSS Gridman. I was at a con, and one of the rooms they were showing like different anime, and one of them that they were showing was Gridman, and I think I'd been talking about it several times to some of my friends there, and they had not seen any of it, and they were like, oh, hey, this is playing, and they're like, I wouldn't mind going to watch it, nothing else is really going on, and I'm like, oh, cool, let's go and watch it, and it was like the first 5 episodes, but I was then like, oh no, like Funimation was there, like Funimation had their own like place set up in the con to sell their Blu-rays and stuff. I wasn't thinking this is going to be showing like Funimation stuff and it's going to be dubbed. So when I first started watching it, it was like very grating to me, like someone just taking nails on a chalkboard to my ears. But I think by like episode 3 or 4, because they showed like 5 episodes in a block, I had already turned, like I had changed, I had flipped over on it, and I was just like, actually, this isn't bad. And I think it's just hard for when you listen to that stuff in your own language. It's a lot easier to listen to in another language. I also get that I do sometimes think that like it's weird when you hear the Japanese voice do the voice and then you hear the English voice and they do not have the same like tone or high like pitch and everything. But I also think some of it comes to which one you watched first. I know that's how I was when I was younger. if I saw a dub over here, American dub of something, like when I saw Full Metal Alchemist, Hellsing, Gundam Wing, like a bunch of stuff, perfectly fine with it. I was like, okay, this is how these characters sound. And then when I did hear years later the sub for something, I thought it sounded really fucking weird, because that's what I was used to. And I think a lot of that comes down to that, how you first listen to something or watch something. But I also do think that sometimes the casting can be a little off. But I also think that sometimes with Japanese, there's been sometimes where I've heard like a Japanese voice that I really wasn't expecting to hear from an anime character. It doesn't happen too often, but like it does happen once in a while. So, I definitely, I'm definitely not one of those people who dunk on the dubs, because like I know a lot of people do. I've seen that on Twitter so much that like it drives me nuts when I see that, because I'm like, man, these guys are actually putting in effort. Like, they're putting in a lot of effort. These guys we've come a long way from some of those early dubs. And yeah, when I see some of the stuff just like, I can't believe these dubs are so terrible. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, come on. Like, if you don't like it, fine, but like, they're actors. They're voice actors. They're voice actors for a reason. Like, when they're talking like this, they're, like, the level of having to get into that character to talk the way that they do in those animes takes a lot. To really sound like some of those over-the-top lines and stuff like that and get into those characters, like, that takes a lot. Like, I would never, I don't know. I just... Anyway, man, I just like every single time it's just like, here's another possible controversial topic that I want to talk about that definitely won't leave people divided after they watch this video. You will respect Matthew Mercer as Jotaro. Was he actually Jotaro? Not as much as Japanese voice. The dub uses British accents. Oh, yeah. Which it does make sense, because, like, Jonathan, is supposed to be in England. Like, that's one thing one of my friends, several people I know have said about, like, shows like Full Metal Alchemist and Hellsing, that they can't imagine watching it in Japanese, because they are supposed to be, like, with Hellsing, they're supposed to be in Britain, they're supposed to be British, and they also have other people from different, like, some French people, German and stuff in there. But like, the same thing with like Full Metal Alchemist, because it's a fantasy world, but they're all supposed to be European, so I get that would be weird if they sounded really Japanese when you've got these people who are clearly supposed to be based off of like Russians or some Middle European countries, like random European country or whatever inserted here. Let me see. A lot of Ultra shows on there and few writer shows. Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely should check out Tubi. It's weird hearing people who are supposed to be British speak Japanese in the subbed version. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And Sentai. Man, I think I've been missing out on Tubi. I should look at that. Like, part 3 makes sense. Jotaro's Japanese, but then they get to Egypt and it starts to lose my immersion, and I just switched to English. Okay. I get, yeah. I definitely do get that. It's weird having alien monster talk any Earth-based language. Yeah. The Kamen Rider 5 cinemas, most of them are pretty bad. The 01 films were perfect examples of this. They wasted Valkyrie in that movie, dear God. Okay. Whatever works the person watching it. Voice of Goku in Japanese hurts the soul. It definitely does when we're so used to, if you're so used to the English dub. It is weird hearing that higher pitched voice actor for Goku. For that, I'm pro dub. Yeah, Matt Mercer was Jotaro in the dub. That's so weird. Johnny Young Bosch was Jonathan. Oh, that's cool. And Ben Diskin was young Joseph. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, like, I know Matt Mercer because of, his Dungeons and Dragons stuff, but I forgot, like, how many things he's also just the voice guy. But I didn't know he did, like, I don't know, don't remember hearing many things that he's done for anime. I felt like it was more like he did a lot of, like, voice for game characters and stuff like that, but no. Oh, V Cinemas. Oh, okay. It's supposed to be V. Okay. I was thinking, I jumped to, like, Roman numeral there. Alright, guys. This actually has been fun. But I feel I'm feeling really tired now. And I think I'm gonna call it a night. Because I was planning on at least trying to go for 2 hours, and now it's been basically like 2.5 hours. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm happy for the amount of people I've gotten in here. I'm happy for everyone who's been in the chat, talking and chatting with me. Really appreciate it. And I hope to continue this. And if I do live streams like this, I definitely would like to try to have them more structured to talk about something later on. And there's plenty of stuff like I want to make videos all the time on a bunch of subjects, but like I could just schedule I really could just schedule a live stream where I just chat about insert toku series or anime series or something like that if I really wanted to, which maybe I will, just share my opinions on something, do a live stream of it, and something. But Mercer did a lot of anime. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I always feel weird with like these live streams because I feel like I'm not really bringing a lot, but I'm happy at the fact that you guys have stayed here and hope you did have a good time. I hope this was something, especially if anyone here was meant to go to G-Fest or wanted to go to G-Fest. that was really just a fucking joke, but yeah. Hope all of you guys have a good night. A good sleep. Don't stay up too late, you crazy kids. I don't know any of the ages. I don't know any of your ages. I'm not your dad. I don't want to be your dad. Anyway. Alright. Have a good night, and I definitely not hope to see you. I will see you guys soon. I mean that.